Good morning. Today is Tuesday, January 18th, and we've had our salmon eggs for 1 week today. In our last video, I told you about the parts of the salmon tank we have here, and I asked, how do you think the stream takes care of those things? So the first thing we talked about was the filter. Streams don't have a filter like we have on our tank. And all of the water that runs across the ground after a rainstorm ends up in our streams. It might go through a storm drain or a roadside ditch, but eventually it ends up in the stream. So anything we leave on the ground can get picked up by that water. So we have to be careful what goes down storm drains. Could be leaks from cars like oil or gasoline, or even parts of tires when the tires wear out. Recent research has shown that tire wear can have an impact on coho salmon. Any kind of yard chemicals that we use, fertilizers and pesticides, those things can get washed down into streams as well. We also talked about the chiller in our tank and how that keeps the water cold because salmon like cold water. We don't have a chiller in our streams. They're usually moderated the temperature by the air temperature. So things like climate change or any kind of tree removal, any clear cutting along a stream can have an impact on the temperature of the water. And then finally we have that air stone, all those bubbles that are bubbling up. Putting that bubble, that air into the tank helps to add oxygen. And salmon eggs absorb the oxygen through their membrane, and then as the fish grow, they filter the water through their gills and get oxygen that way. In our streams, that oxygen is added when the water flows over rocks. We call them riffles. And if you are lucky enough to see salmon return as adults to lay their eggs, you might see them laying their eggs in an area where there is a riffle. Now I'd like to just give you a minute to look at our salmon eggs, see what you notice. I'm noticing some movement in some of our eggs. Hopefully you can see that on the video as well. Next time we'll talk more about how these eggs develop and what other kinds of eggs they might be similar to.